think Tommy Ames called it the managers. The night before he got the starting lineup.
So he did the game?
He did the game Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wound up hanging out with a pew group.
What's that, Ed?
Oh, Jamestown going down 9 today? Oh, no, they got 10.
Usually they'll get the 10th batter.
So guys, are they bringing the tarp out?
Kent's actually playing. I'm surprised. I thought he broke his hand.
Hello?
Gilman?
What's up?
Casey Gilman.
Are they bringing the tarp out?
No, they're not.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
This is where you want to be, right? Go to 0-2 when you're in a jam. Yep. There's a swing on it. Good work by Bilko there. That was really good stuff by Bilko. Next one is going to get hit to left. That's going to drop. Base hit. Oh, it got misplayed there by Quinlan. 1 run scores. 2 run score. That's 2 more RBIs for Johnson. Give him 4 on the night. 13-6. 6 runs here in the bottom of the 7th.
And now let's send you down to Russell E. Dietrich Park, where our broadcast team is standing by.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball right here on WRFA. I'm Norm Rodriguez, joined by Colin Wood, with this afternoon's game being the first of 2, a doubleheader here between your Jamestown Tarp Skunks, who are hosting the Batavia Muckdogs. A reminder, support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Baseball is through support from Schultz Auto Group, the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, Chautauqua Institution, and Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts. Funding is also provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Today's game is being broadcast on WRFA 107.9 FM and streaming on WRFALP.com, with the broadcast also available on the Tarp Skunks YouTube channel. So, Colin, Skunks in a bit of a slump here. They were in first place a little more than a week ago. Now they've slipped to third.
Yeah, and that 1-0 win they got against Elmira, they had to squeak that out just to get back in the win column. Last game against Batavia, just some sloppy infield play that we saw. The errors started to build up. Plus, they had incredible pitching on their side with Ronaldo Uzon for the first 5 innings of the game. He did an electric job with 8 strikeouts. He retired plenty of batters. I'm expecting to see just a little more momentum, a little more urgency today from the Tarp Skunks, trying to, turn the season around and get back in the win column.
And while we're waiting, we do got the lineups for both teams. Again, first of 2 games, and with doubleheaders in the PGCBL, they are 7 innings each. That's mainly to avoid or to meet the inning limits for pitchers and so on and so forth. But for Batavia, Rashad Robinson leading off in center field, then Kyle Hetherington, the right fielder, Adam Agresti, the catcher, the cleanup guy, James Acelta, the DH, then 5 through 10, the guy who you think the name's pretty cool, the Falcon Punch, Chad Falcon, the extra hitter, and the guy who actually got the win against Jamestown last week, Trey Bacon, a little bit of 6 degrees there, and then from 7 to 10, Gavin Sims, Sean Ladd, Victor Alonji, and Noah Sorensen, and Ty Woods is the starting pitcher for Batavia. Meanwhile, though, for Jamestown, leading off is going to be Zach Kent, the left fielder. Usually that's Grady Me, but Me's going to be in the 2 spot this afternoon. Then Henry Juwan, the catcher, is batting third. Cleanup will be Jake Kernodle at DH for this game. Then 5 through 10, Colin Hauk, Matt Thompson, Paul Catalano, who's been seeing a lot more action lately, Tommy Googans, Matthew Best, and Alex Servia. Those are 10 batters for Jamestown, and getting his 3rd home start of the season is going to be Casey Gilman. He's going to be the man on the belt for Jamestown in Game 1 of this doubleheader.
Yeah, and that switch of putting Kent in the outfield, we were talking before the broadcast about he got hit by a pitch a couple of games ago, and we're not quite sure what the prognosis is. We know he's playing today. We know he's going to be in the batting rotation, but I think they want to limit the action he's going to see in the infield on the defensive side and just try to save him and keep him well rested for when he's at bat.
I did hear from one of the other workers he'll be getting an MRI shortly after this game, but his hand was wrapped with an ice pack and looked like an ace bandage. And another possible setback, this could be a spirit killer for Jamestown. Patrick DeMarco, he had a scary moment when he threw a pitch. He held on to his elbow, and the spot he was holding that was where the UCL is. But we'll talk more about that in just a moment, because we're about to have the national anthem here. Game 1 of this doubleheader between Jamestown and Batavia on WRFA coming up next. Do stay tuned. We'll see you all on the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, so once again, that was the national anthem, and yeah, DeMarco came in for a save opportunity in that win against Elmira last week, and one of the pitches he threw, he was holding on to his elbow, and the spot he was holding it, it's that UC where the UCL's located in. If he were to have that torn, his year would be over, and that could be cost for Jamestown, because DeMarco, obviously one of the strongest pitchers on staff for Jamestown as Gilman throws his warm-up pitches.
Hey, Norm, just checking in. It's Jason Sample, WRFA station manager, and Johnny on the spot when it comes to talking about the injured player you were just referring to.
Yes.
Talking with Coach Bazile, from what we understand, an MRI was due today, but it does appear that he will likely be shut down for the remainder of the season. So Patrick DeMarco likely will not return. Coach Bazile told me right before the warm-up started, I was down there talking with him, asking how everybody was doing health-wise. He said, everybody's doing good. And I said, well, how did Patrick DeMarco make out? And he said, well, he is scheduled for an MRI, but at this point it looks like we probably won't want him to return just because of the nature of the injury, his throwing arm, and you're better to err on the side of caution regardless of what the MRI is. But we might know more after today, but at this point he said it's looking pretty good that he probably won't return. Back to you, Norm.
Well, Jason, as always, thank you very much, and it's better to be shelved and possibly not exacerbate the injury, but another guy that also got hurt, Zach Kent, I'm surprised he's playing. From what I heard from a couple of sources, possible broken hand. He took a pitch right to the hand, but hey, he's out there, he's playing, but makes me think last season, the last game of Patrick O'Shaughnessy's Skunks career, he actually played on a torn meniscus, and they kept him on at first base. He went 1 for 4, drove in an RBI in his last at-bat, and that was another one of those ones that came back to hurt Jamestown a bit. He was one of their strongest batters, but we're about to get started here in the first game of this doubleheader as Robinson, the center fielder, is due up.
I just want to wish the best of luck to Patrick DeMarco. He plays at Ohio University, Division I in the MAC, and just wish a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's okay by the time that college season rolls around.
Well, here's Gilman's first pitch of the game, and outside ball 1. And so far for Jamestown, all their starts that the pitchers have had here at Dietrich for Jamestown, none of them have hit the minimum inning requirement of 5 to be eligible for a win, as that one's going to get hit over to second, fielded there cleanly by Googans, and gets it to Houck in time for the first out. And actually, the game against Elmira, Ryan Bilka actually had the longest start of any of the starters at Dietrich for Jamestown. He worked 4 innings. And again, that's a case of just inning limits, and you don't want to burn them out before the end of the season. You want to keep them on for as long as you physically can, as Hetherington is up to bat. And here's Gilman's next pitch. That one is going to be shallow into left, but fielding it there cleanly in left is Kent for the second out. So quick 2 outs here as Agresti is up to bat.
This is a great start for Gilman so far, 2 up, 2 out. And it's at the point in the season now where most of the pitchers, they've gotten a crack at it. You start to figure out as a coach your rotation, how you want to play these guys, who wants to start, come in the middle, save potentially, or get the win.
So Agresti, the catcher, coming up. Gilman looking for a 1-2-3. Here's the next pitch. It's inside and low, ball 1. 1-0 delivery by Gilman. That one's a check swing, but Guggen's under it. He'll make the catch, and that's a very quick top of the first inning. Gilman goes 1-2-3. Batavia does not get a run on the board. Your Skunks up the bat, but first, Colin, I'm going to shift it over to you.
Support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you in part by Schultz Auto Group, celebrating over 50 years serving automotive needs of the greater Jamestown community with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. All repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for all automotive needs, no matter what engine type, gas, diesel, or electric. Schultz Auto Group, a proud supporter of Tarp Skunk Baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or visit schultzauto.com.
All right, and with that, we're just waiting for the bottom of the first to start. Once again, the starting pitcher for Batavia is number 30, Ty Woods, and comparing him to Ronaldo Usen, a little shorter and a lot thinner. I would say kind of Tristan McKenzie-esque, kind of on the rail thin side, kind of like a pipe cleaner. And Usen, I'm sure you remember, I compared him a bit to CC Sabathia. He had the definite burliness and stockiness of him, and Usen had a strong performance.
Yeah, Ronaldo Usen, I mean, what a display he put on. There was some big shoes to fill there for Ty Woods. So now, on the offensive side for Jamestown, they've had no problem with the hits. It's just finding that consistency. There have been glimmers of light throughout the course of the game, but they're really trying to pour it on this time around.
And they've also had a few games where they've had more runs than hits, but They're a team, they draw a lot of walks, and they're also a team when they get the opportunity, when Brazil gives them that green light, they take off. They've got more than 40 steals as a team, and they face quite a few teams that aren't known for the thievery. They're known to go station to station, not try to be a hero, and again, this is strange here because usually Grady Mee's the leadoff guy, but it's going to be Zach Kent coming up to lead it off, and maybe it's a strategic move, but Kent, his speed's just as good as Mee's.
I would think so, too. Kent's got a gray eye. Maybe he gets in a high pitching count and a pitching duel. Maybe he gets a single, and then Mee can do some damage, get him home, or get him in scoring position.
So Kent will look to start it off with a bang here for Jamestown. Gilman had a quick 1-2-3 inning, less than 10 pitches for his inning, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one, and that's been a problem with Jamestown during their miniature skid they've had. They settle for the first pitch, and either it's a swing and a miss, a grounder, or a pop-out. But here comes Woods' next pitch. That looks like it's going to drop into right, and it will! Base hit! So Kent with a leadoff single. And that was one that was just a little floater going into right field, and the wind was his friend. Mother Nature said, let it drop.
What can I say? They're swinging with confidence, and in that Batavia game the other night, that was what almost cost them at the end. It was the bottom of the ninth. They were only down one. They had a chance, but the first two guys at bat, they took the first pitch they got, and that resulted in a quick 2-up and 2-out. But I love the confidence so far.
And Kent, he's got a good lead off the bag. I'm thinking the next two pitches he might try to steal. I wouldn't say steal straight away. Woods checks on Kent at first. Here's the next pitch. Inside, ball one. Woods taking that check on Kent. Next pitch is ruled outside, 2-0. So Grady Mee ahead in the count. Next pitch right down the pipe, strike one. Mee ahead in the count, 2-1. I'm sure Woods would not mind that double play. It'd be just as good as Tiger Woods wearing that gold jacket. So Kent gets back in safely. He's been taking a pretty good lead off of first. I wonder if Brazil's going to say, let's go. Next pitch. Again, another one right down the dish. Evens the count at 2s. Now this is where Mee has to try and at least extend the at-bat. I've said this to you, and I've said this to Max a few times over past broadcasts. It's better to strike out swinging than by looking. Hypothetically. Well, here's the pitch. That one is going into left. It looks like it will remain in play. And caught there by Trey Bacon for the first out. Able to avoid the Mystic River there. Again, he got the save in their last game. Now he's playing in left.
And just as a reference for Ty Woods, on the year, 12 innings pitched, only 5 hits given up, 2 walks, and a .750 ERA. So Jamestown dealing with a serious problem there on the mound.
So again, Kent's got a good lead off the bag as Juwan is up to bat. That pitch outside, ball one. And so far, even though the season's young, Juwan's done very well filling the shoes of ex-Skunk Johnny Campus. They are big shoes to fill, but I think he's been filling them very well. Here's the 1-0. Little Barbasol music there. Here comes a throw to first. And very fortunate that it bounced off a lad's glove, because had he have had a clean hold of that, there's a chance Kent could have been picked off.
And each time these teams play, it's always a close battle. It's going to come down to, I think personally, who's going to make more mistakes today.
Next pitch upstairs, ball 3. There have been a couple games where there was one last season, Jamestown kept it close, but Batavia, they ended up losing by 6 runs, but the problem was they committed 6 errors. But here's a 3-0, and outside corner, strike one. Wasn't too sure what the home plate umpire was going to call it. Was a bit of a delayed one there, but it's a green light. It's a hitter's count for Juwan, so if it's something he likes, I expect him to take a swing. And he lets that one go. Outside corner, count goes full.
Each side has talent all around, and we've seen that in the games we've done. It's been a historic matchup between the two. And the other night, it was just Jamestown beat themselves.
Runner goes, but it's ball 4. An unnecessary slide there by Kent, but who knows? Maybe you love sliding, and plus getting your uniform dirty is encouraged.
Well, you never know, and sometimes I think that's just a natural reaction and muscle memory. Better to be safe than sorry.
For sure, and now one of the members of the Ivy League quartet coming up to bat. Usually plays in the infield, but he's DHing for this game. Jake Kernodle, number 15, and runners on first and second, just one out. A base hit can possibly bring home Kent, and I'm sure he's aching for an RBI to bring back the jersey. Here's the next pitch. Outside corner, strike 1. Woods taking a check at Kent. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off to the backstop, strike 2. So heading the count 0-2. Woods looking to at least get the second out. Here's the pitch. That one low and outside, ball 1. So Woods gets a signed 1-2 pitch. Runner goes, and it hits Kernodle. Deja vu moment there for Ked sliding, but this time it's not a walk. It's a hit batsman, and this is a chance here for Jamestown. And they haven't done super well with these opportunities. They got the bases jammed, 1 out, and now to be the first baseman, Colin Houck, coming up the bat. And I'm sure every batter that comes up with the bases loaded, I'm sure they're legitimately hungry, going, Coach, open the sandwich shop. I'm hitting that grand salami and make sure I got some extra mustard.
This is exactly why he's in this position, too, as your cleanup guy. He's an RBI machine. Had the game-winning RBI against Elmira that got them the 1-0 win.
And that RBI was actually in the first inning as he swings and misses the first pitch he sees for strike 1. Woods looking to get out of this jam here. It is a force at any base. Houck fouls the next one off the grandstand. Strike 2. Kent on third, Juwan at second, and Kernodle at first. Kent, Juwan, and Kernodle, attorneys at law, as Houck looks to drive in at least 1 run, though 2 would be better. 3 would be great, and a grand salami would be toasterific. Here's the 0-2, fouled off again. Count stays 0-2. So Houck staying alive here in this at-bat. Again, for Woods, to force at any base if it's a grounder. Here's the 0-2. That one fouled off and over the top of the press box. Count remains the same, and this will be the 6th pitch in this at-bat. Houck has fouled off the last 3.
I mean, I know the count's 0-2, but Houck's also not a guy that's going to get caught looking. He's going to go down swinging.
Oh, he's someone that's definitely not scared to swing, and that's what's admirable about him. Not timid by any means. Here's the 0-2 again. Upstairs and outside, 1 and 2. Good plate discipline there by Houck. Because usually sometimes when you foul so many in a row, if there's one that's a waste pitch, which wasn't a bad idea by Woods, you never know, you give him the chase. I think he tried to throw one near the dirt that was low, maybe he would have swung, but we'll see what he does here. Here's the next pitch. That's going to go into right, but it's going to hook foul into the area of the Muckdog bullpen. And this is going to be pitch number 9 in this at-bat. Might as well cue the theme of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Houck going into the box is Clint Eastwood.
Well, if you're Coach Bazile, you don't mind that. You want to get Woods' pitch count up because, according to the numbers, he's one of the better pitchers on the team, maybe even around the league as well, too. A .75 ERA in 12 innings pitched. That's terrifying, personally.
Next one, outside 2-2. I thought he was going to get rung up on that one. That could have gone either way. And now at this pitch, we're going to have double digits in this at-bat. The 10th pitch in it. Let's see if Houck can make it worth it with a couple of runs. He has come back from 0-2, making the count 2-2. Woods takes a check at second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Woods with a big out number 2 there, but Houck should not hang his head in shame by any means. He gave Woods a battle, and it was a 10-pitch battle, and that will up Woods' count, so that could possibly lessen the longevity of his start.
Absolutely. That's the difference right there of maybe 2/3 of an inning and almost even a full inning, depending on how the next couple pitches go.
Well, now it'll be the third baseman, Matt Thompson, up the bat. He has a chance to drive in some runs. And again, Jamestown, they haven't been the best so far this year, taking advantage of this situation. The main times, though, that we've seen it were a mix of walks and hit by pitches, not really a lot of hits, as the first pitch to Thompson was outside for a ball.
Yeah, this is an all too familiar situation. They do a great job of getting on base in multiple ways, but they have a problem every now and then cashing in.
Next pitch, outside corner, evens the count at 1s. So Woods gets the sign he wants. Here's the next pitch. That one outside, 2-1. If Thompson gets walked, I'm sure he'll take that. It'll be an RBI via a force-in due to the bases being juiced more than the kind that Barry Bonds used during his Giants tenure.
Thompson's ahead in the count, too. Forces Woods to throw something good at least.
Here's the next pitch by Ty Woods, and that one's low and outside, ball 3. Hitters count here, 3-1. If Thompson does get walked, Paul Catalano is due up, and he's taking some practice cuts on deck. So we got a 3-1 count, 2 outs. Here's Woods' next pitch. That's a chopper over to second. Fielded there cleanly. Not in time! Not in time! Runner's safe! And the run's going to score here for Jamestown, and that's a big gaff there by the second baseman for Batavia and Gavin Sims. He was a little lackadaisical. He was like skipping to his Little Red Riding Hood without the big bad wolf. Had he have picked it up and immediately flipped it, the runner on first would have been nailed, but he took 2-3 slow steps and underhanded it to the shortstop. That's a critical mistake, and that's a run on the board for Jamestown, being ahead 1-0 as Paul Catalano is up the bat. And that will be credited for Thompson as an RBI single via the infield as Catalano fouls off the first pitch he sees for a strike.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Norm. I think lackadaisical is the perfect word for it. Sometimes you just got to have a little more pep in your step. That's 2 outs on the board. All you got to do is throw, plant your foot, make a firm throw, and you're going to the top of the second, still tied at 0-0.
I'm sure he'll get a small talking to when the bottom of the first is over. Honestly, if I was a head coach, I wouldn't be too happy about that. It's if you've got a clean hold of the ball, you got to flip it quick. As Catalano swings and misses, makes the count 1-2. So 1 run on 2 hits in this inning for the Skunks, and they're looking to improve their record to 7-4, along with 1 tie. Thompson is on first. Juwan on third, Kernodle at second. Here's the next pitch. That one fouled off. It had Agresti have held on to that. That would have been the 3rd out by the foul tip. But Catalano will get to see another pitch, and even if they only just get this 1 run, hats off to Jamestown, though, because they made Woods throw at least 25, 30 pitches. So count still 1-2 here for Woods with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-2 with 2 outs. The first time we're seeing the triple deuces here today.
And that count only increasing. Colin Houck accounted for 10 of those pitches as well, too. And Catalano here is the 7th at-bat. So really starting to rack up for Woods here early on.
Next pitch, and that's into shallow, or in the short. And it gets caught there by the shortstop at Sorensen for the 3rd and final out. However, Jamestown does get a run on the board off the single by Thompson, and Jamestown up 1-0. Top of the second coming up in just a few moments right here on WRFA.
do you have for Woods? I have a strikeout, a walk, and a hit batter. That's it, right? Or 2 walks. Oh, no, I mean like for Woods pitching. Have you been keeping track of that?
Yeah, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
I'm a Yankees guy, but my favorite player right now is Shohei Ohtani. Because they're on both sides of the field. Do you currently play other sports? I used to play basketball in high school, but I gave that up my sophomore year for What do you like to do when you're not playing baseball? Hanging with friends, working out, having a good time, just relaxing. What's your favorite baseball memory? I'm going to have to say winning the sectional championship my junior year. It was a great experience, and our team just blended really well together. It was a surreal experience. Right on. And what do you like best about playing for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks? I like the atmosphere of home games. Like the fans, they really pop out for their team. I love it. Anything else to add? Go Tarp. Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball right here on WRSALP 107.9 FM in Jamestown.
And we're about to start the top of the second here with your Skunks up over the Muckdogs 1-0. And first inning for Gilman was really quick. He had a 1-2-3 inning, and he'll look to keep the momentum going. And again, it's a doubleheader, so 7 innings each game. And for Gilman to be eligible for this win, he'll have to pitch at least 4 innings. As the next pitch by Gilman, he went around. So that will be a strike. And again, yeah, the batters are due up are a Celta, Falcon, and Bacon. So here comes Gilman's 0-1 pitch. That was a hot shot over the short, and not able to get it is me. That was a hard bounce right there. Could have bounced better than a pogo stick, but it is a base hit, though, for Batavia, their first hit of the game, and now it will be Chad Falcon, the extra hitter, that is due up.
And you can't get mad at that one as a coach. That one had a lot of extra mustard on it. If me makes that play, great, but I think you live with it. Unfortunately, that one, just so much heat on that to try and corral that and get it over to first in time.
Thompson was playing a little deep. Usually when the infield goes around the grassy patches, that usually means someone's going for a bunt. But Gilman gets a sign. Here comes the next pitch. Inside corner, strike 1. And while we wait for the next pitch, Skunks fans, as always, at the top of the hour, you're listening to Jamestown Tarp Skunk Baseball on WRFALP 107.9 FM in Jamestown, New York, with your Skunks ahead 1-0 here in Game 1 of this doubleheader here at Dietrich today. And here comes the next pitch by Gilman. That one inside and low, evens the count at 1s. Falcon looking to make the ball fly here as Gilman takes the side at the rubber, and here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So Falcon back in the box, count 1-2. Gilman, he hasn't had a strikeout yet, but again, the ground ball has been his friend. Here's his pit, and that's a foul ball. Hit off the nub of the bat. Came dangerously close to getting Falcon in the elbow. So count still 1-2 here for Gilman. Here's the next pitch. That one foul. It's going to go out of play. Count will stay 1-2. Here's a pickoff, and a Celta does get back in safely.
Gilman's got to be careful with that. On that pickoff attempt, he started to lose his footing a little bit. That ball could have easily sailed on him.
Next pitch, Falcon hits that one over to left, but it's going to go foul. Hits off the fence of the Skunk bullpen. Count stays 1-2. So Falcon will see another pitch here. It's almost beginning to look like Houck's first at-bat versus Woods. For my count, believe this is pitch number 7 for this at-bat. But count still 1-2. Here's the pitch. That one's into a gap in right center and making the catch in center field. What a play there on the hustle by Matthew Best. Not really known for his bat, but his glovemanship out there is why he's gotten some starts. So with 1 out, it's going to be Trey Bacon, the left fielder.
The left fielder, number 4, Trey.
And that was good communication there by Best to eventually wave off Catalano out in right field just to avoid another campfire situation. Timed it beautifully, got underneath it, well executed.
Falcon did indeed make that ball fly, but came up short. This one going to shallow right, and it's going to drop. It's going to be a base hit here for Trey Bacon, so cooking it up in the frying pan and putting the ball in the air up there, as now it's going to be Gavin Sims, the second baseman. He'll look to atone for his fielding gaffe back in the bottom of the first.
Second baseman, number 35, Gilman Sims.
So 2 singles in the last 3 batters faced for Gilman, and the Muckdogs have a chance to tie the game. They just have 1 out, Bacon on first and Acelta on second. So Gilman does get the sign from Juwan. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off the grandstand. Strike 1. First time we've seen action from Sims from the game plus we've seen here with them playing Batavia. Muckdogs come in looking to keep their huge run over Jamestown going as he goes around. Strike 2. That looked like a half-hearted attempt to abort the check swing, but he knew with that swing he was a dead duck on that pitch. So Gilman already ahead in the count here, 0-2. A second out would be important. Here's the 0-2. Oh, called outside, 1-2. I thought Sims was going to get rung up there, but he will get to see another pitch in this at-bat. And from first to third, it's a force at any 3. Again, Gilman, he's still looking for his first strikeout, but he's induced a lot of pop flies and grounders. Next one definitely outside, evens the count at 2s. So 2-2 count with just 1 out. Gilman checks Celta at second. And here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Gilman, and that's a big out, number 2. And as the next batter comes up to bat in Sean Ladd, I kind of wish the songs alternate a little bit with the strikeouts, because I remember I was giving the game off when they were playing Elmira. I was hearing that smell every strikeout. I'm like, I remember there was the Mockingjay whistle, the Yankees strikeout whistle. I DJ'd when it was the Jammers, and I don't know, it's just sometimes it doesn't hurt to mix it up as the first pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1 to Sean Ladd.
I think we got to get you in the music department over there. You're certainly someone that I don't think would ever lose in the battle of Name That Tune.
Whenever I would do trivia with my friends, I was undefeated in it. Oh, but the pitch, though, it escaped from Juwan's glove, but the runners stayed put. Yeah, or what it was basically they would put a buzzer on, and whoever got the tune right, you won a prize. And honestly, I didn't care about the prize. I just did it for fun. My teammates would be like, Norm, get your butt over there. I'll be like, okay.
You got to showcase that you're a cultured man when it comes to the music.
But here's the 1-1 by Gilman, and that's fouled off. 1-2 count. So Gilman 1 strike away from putting another shutout inning in the books. And he'll try to be the first pitcher at Dietrich this season as a Skunk starter to hit the minimum inning requirement to get a win. And last I checked, a bullpen pitcher for Jamestown is the team leader in wins right now. It was Chaffee. But here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts by Casey Gilman as the score remains 1-0 as the top of the second bottom of the second, will resume momentarily. And Colin, I'm going to shift it over to you.
Support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball is brought to you in part by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses. It also promotes the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it offers businesses assistance in the forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhance the opportunities for job creation and retention across Chautauqua County. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 716-661-8900 or visit ccida.com.
And with that, Woods looking to get a better outing here in the second. He was forced to throw a lot of pitches in the first inning, and the main one again, the 10-pitch battle against Colin Houck, which he would eventually win by striking him out. But the 8 through 10 batters are due up for Jamestown: Googins, Best, and Servia.
Now to the plate, New York, Jamestown Tarp Skunks. The second baseman from Princeton University, number
Yeah, and Googins, another one of the Ivy League quartet, one of 4 Skunks to join Princeton, and he changed animal mascots. He went from a tiger to a skunk in the offseason. But here comes Woods' next pitch. That one upstairs, ball 1. Next one on the way by Woods, outside corner, evens the count 1-1. Woods, next delivery, outside corner, strike 2, and letting the pitches go by.
You just have a feeling that the consistent pitching over the course of this game is going to remain there for both teams. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, first one of 3 wins.
Next one is fouled off. Count stays 1-2.
And I tell you, I'd be shocked if we were to see more than one double today.
We've yet to see a homer here this season at Dietrich, and last year there were just 2 home runs. 1 each actually by Batavia and Jamestown. Jamestown's was by Johnny Campus, and the one by Batavia was by a last year Muckdog, not with the team this year, Tyler Canoe, as another foul ball just occurred, making the count 1-2. Next pitch on the way by Woods, fouled off again. So the more they foul off the pitches and see another pitch, the higher Woods' count is going to get, and kind of as high as when Tiger Woods goes on his slumps. But here's the next pitch, and that's going to go pop fly to first, and Ladd makes the catch for an easy out number 1. And it will be Best, the center fielder, who actually made a great defensive stop back in the top of the second to avoid a possible extra base hit.
The Skunks at bat that have eventually been retired have done a good job, though, of not making it easy on Woods. And I think at this point, Woods is going to be lucky to see the end of the 3rd inning. Not because of the way he's playing, just because of the count.
Next pitch on the way, outside, 1-0. Next one by Woods, fouled off over the top of the press box. Strike 1. One pitch by Woods. That one is foul, but it's going to go out of play into the bleachers. Not a lot of people here for the first game. I think attendance will pick up for the second game. Best looking to get a base hit here so far. Both teams are just 2 hits each, but the main importance for Jamestown is they have the run. Next one's in the dirt, 2-2. Two wind up. That one skips in the dirt again. Count goes full. Regardless of the result here, Servia is up next. He occasionally plays catcher, but he is tabbed here for this game as the extra hitter. Payoff pitch. It's going to be a chopper, and it's going to go into center field for a base hit. Honestly, I felt Sorensen could have possibly tried to dive for that a little bit. He had the angle from our view, but he decides to let that one dribble in the center and gives Matthew Best a base hit, and now it'll be Servia looking to take advantage of this opportunity.
And that's the second time an infielder for Batavia looked like they could have made more of an effort on a play. I mentioned earlier that it's going to come down to who makes more mistakes, but I think also just the hustle plays and who wants it more. And right now, Tarp Skunks winning that battle by a mile.
Yeah, they're saying say hello to my stinky little friend. Servia's going to bunt. Fielded there by Woods. Throw to first, and oh, he got him by half a step. It was a dangerously close one, but it was bang, bang. However, Servia gets the job done. He advances Best to second, and we'll be back to the top of the order with Zach Kent. But honestly, like those two plays, Sorensen just lollygagging, trying to let that ball go into center, and then the other play there by Sims taking the extra steps instead of just a simple flip over to Sorensen. You might as well cue the theme of Leave It to Beaver or some or other cheery tune that makes you just want to go tra-la-la-la-la and sing a happy song as the next pitch is outside for a ball. And Kent, he has single in the first inning. He's also scored the only run of the game so far. Next pitch fouled off. Count goes even at ones. Next pitch on the way by Woods, and it appeared Kent went around. Bases umpire says no. From my view, I thought that broke the halfway part of home plate, but umpires got the better view. Count is 2-1 with 2 outs and Best at second. And the way this game's been looking, an insurance run could be huge for Jamestown, as the next pitch by Woods swung on and missed, evens the count at 2s. So Woods 1 strike away from keeping the score the same at 1-0. He gets a sign from Agresti. Checking on Best at second. Here's the pitch. This one popped up. It's going to remain in play. Agresti under it. He'll make the catch for the 3rd out. So that does complete 2 innings here at Dietrich. Jamestown, though, still ahead 1-0. 3rd inning coming up momentarily after this on WRFA.
Who fielded Servia's bunt?
Woods.
Oh, yeah. So it was 1-3?
Yes.
Thank you, All right, 3, 2, 1, start going. First one's always easier when you're not playing baseball. 2-0 over there, real quick. 2-0 over here. Might be a quick game. What's your favorite baseball memory? Grab his rebound. The wind is pretty strong. You're going into the wind here. That's it. What a game. That's quick. There it is. Cole with the win. Jeremy, back up to you. Thanks, Cole.
Right on. Anything else to add? Let's go Tarp Skunks.
Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Make sure to check out Honest John's, their location over in Lakewood. Visit us online at honestjohnsonline.com.
You're listening to Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball right here on WRFA-LP 107.9 FM in Jamestown.
Top of the 3rd about to start here as Gilman's warm-up pitches have been completed, and Jamestown up 1-0. Again, this is the first of 2 games here today between Jamestown and the Batavia Muckdogs. The batters due up for the Muckdogs are Alonji, Sorensen, then back to the top with Robinson. So Alonji, the 3rd baseman, looking to get something going here for Batavia. Here comes Gilman's next pitch on the way. It's going to be a chopper foul to the Skunks dugout. It appeared Braden Johnson was trying to field that ball, but ended up not getting it. So I'm sure we'll see him play in game 2. Sometimes with doubleheaders. Some starters get one of the games off and they play the next game and vice versa. As Alonji swings and misses for strike 2. And again, we're hearing that Jaws theme. And all I got to say is, Colin, the Muckdogs need a bigger boat. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way by Gilman. That one in the dirt, ball 1. So count 1 and 2. Here comes the next pitch by Gilman. This one popped up. Guggen's under it. And he'll easily make the catch for the first out. So Alonji will take the long trot back to the Muckdog dugout, and now it'll be Sorensen, the shortstop. Sorensen, like Sims, a bit of a lackadaisical and la-di-da gaff there where he could have fielded that ball going into center, but decided to let it go. But fortunately for him, Jamestown wasn't able to cash in on that. But he's up for his first at-bat of the game, and here comes the next pitch by Gilman. Right down Broadway, strike 1. Gets a sign. Here's the next pitch on the way. That one upstairs a tad and outside. 1-1. And we get to see the triple sticks as well. Next delivery on the way by Gilman. That one fouled off. Hot shot going into the Muckdog bullpen, making it 1-2. One-two pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts in the last 4 batters faced for Gilman. And we actually heard the whistle. That's usually when the Yankees get a strikeout or the Jets get a first down. But we know how rare that happens with the Jets these days.
It almost sounded like the Hunger Games whistle.
Not quite. Tad similar, but not quite. Next pitch hits the outside corner, strike 1, and Robinson's first at-bat, he grounded out. So Gilman looking for 3 shutout frames. Here's the next pitch. Chop foul. It deflected off of Robinson's foot. So cuckoo, Mr. Robinson. You get to see another pitch in this at-bat and look to extend the inning. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 4 strikeouts in the last 5 batters faced for Gilman. And that concludes 2.5 at Dietrich. Score still 1-0. And once again, Colin, going to shift it over to you.
Support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you in part by Chautauqua Institution, a community on the shores of Chautauqua Lake that comes alive each summer with a unique mix of fine and performing arts, including theater and musical entertainment, along with lectures, interfaith worship and programs, and recreational activities. The 2023 season features Natalie Merchant, Diana Ross, Patty LaBelle, The Revivalists, Band of Horses, Straight No Chaser, Snarky Puppy, Trombone Shorty, Mavis Staples, and much more. Chautauqua Institution. For more information, call 1-800-836-ARTS 2787 or visit discover.chq.org.
If I were able to see Patty LaBelle, I'd be yelling out, Lady Marmalade.
How about Casey Gilman, though? Really applying that pressure so far. That's 2 innings now out of the 3 he's pitched that were 3 up and 3 down. 4 strikeouts to account for attached to his name. And I think so far this year, at least from what I've seen, by far the best performance by a starting pitcher for the Skunks.
Oh, he should have been here for Bilka, too. He had 6-7 strikeouts in just 4 innings against Elmira. But we got the 2 through 4 batters coming up. Me, Juwan, and Carnodal do up. And me, he flew out to left in his first at-bat. And here comes Woods' next pitch. And outside, ball 1. Once again, score still 1-0 here. Jamestown's run scored in the first inning that Kent scored. That was off a Thompson RBI single. Next pitch evens the count at ones as it hits the heart of the plate. One delivery, and Meade tries to bunt, and luckily it goes behind Agresti and right into the palm of fellow catcher Henry Juwan, who's up next to bat. As it counts 1-2 here, and Meade looking to get on base. He is the team leader in stolen bases, so he'll want to get on badly. Here's the pitch. Fouled off.
Just got a hair bit there. A little bit of contact he made keeps him alive.
So here's another 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So second strikeout for Woods. And that'll be Juwan, the catcher, up. Back in the first, he was walked.
And that's a guy who bats just under 500 in Grady Me. I think he's got to swing at something better than that. That one clearly well outside.
Oh, yeah.
I get it was do or die, but...
Yeah, he tried catching a walleye, but instead he got one of the boots of the victims of Bruce the Shark from Jaws, as the first pitch was ruled a ball. Woods' next delivery on the way, right down Broadway, strike one, and even Juwan shook his head in agreement. He took a look back and nodded his head in the up-down motion, which means yes. Next one, he swings and misses for strike 2. He wanted to try and rip the tail off his skunk as a prized possession, but instead he feels the breeze of his bat. So count 1-2 here for Ty Woods. Here's the next pitch. And that one almost got Juwan, but it is called a ball, and it'll even the count at deuces.
Yeah, your natural instincts tell you to get out of the way, but then you realize, oh, I could have gotten a free pass on first.
Next one's fouled up, but it's going to go over the top of the press box. Anybody in the concession stand, look out.
What a pitching duel this has turned into, though. Woods kind of struggled there in the first, had to go through 7 batters just to get the 3 outs, but now he's starting to pour it on, too.
Next pitch outside and low makes the count go full. We might as well, even though I cannot stand country music, it makes me want to pull out 2 banjos and have the guys go, all right, let's do a duel here. As that one's fouled off and nearly got Brazil in the dome, but luckily he was able to avoid it, and count stays full here. So Juwan, another case of making Woods work to get the out.
No action going on in the Muckdog bullpen either.
Here's the payoff, and that one went in the dirt into the backstop. So 2 at-bats for Juwan, 2 walks, and now it will be Kernodle, who got hit by a pitch in his first appearance.
Coming to the plate with your Jamestown Tarp Skunks, the designated hitter from Princeton, number 15, Jake Kernodle.
Next pitch to Kernodle is outside for a ball. Juwan's got a decent lead over at first, but again, catcher's not really known to steal the bases as the next pitch is outside, making it 2-0. Woods gets the sign he wants from Agresti, and here comes the next pitch. Fouled off to the backstop, 2-1. Kernodle getting some signage as well as Juwan. Woods gets the pitch he wants. Here comes the 2-1, and outside corner evens the count at 2s. In case of the delayed call there, wasn't sure what was going to be called. It was kind of like the slow pitch motion where you move the arm and then you make the call. Kind of like Keanu Reeves ducking the bullets on The Matrix. But count even here at 2-2 with 1 out. Here comes the next pitch. It's fouled off and over the top of the bleachers in right. And like Bob Seeger, the count still the same. Another 2-2 on the way. Caught looking. Strike 3 on the outside corner. So 2 strikeouts in the last 3 3 batters faced for Woods. But now it'll be Colin Houck coming up the bat.
Well, the way that first inning went, I didn't think that Woods and Houck were going to have another duel, but if it's as good as the first one, I'm excited.
Well, here comes the next pitch, and this one popped up. It will be in play. Looks like Woods will be under it. No! Getting called off there by the third baseman in Alonji. So an easy pop to third to conclude the bottom of the third. So score does remain 1-0. We'll have the 4th inning coming up on WRFA.
What do you want to bet the final score is 1-0?
And the run was in the first inning.
It's possible.
Very.
You got it? What 2 cases do you want to get rid of? 2 and 4 are gone. So, we have 1 and we have 3. Out of the 2 remaining cases, which one do you want? You want 1. Before we show it, are you sure you want 1 or do you want to switch over to 3? Switch it to 3, what do you win? A Tarp Skunks t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Zach. Big winner of Tarp Skunks t-shirt, Remy. Back up to you.
107.9 FM in Jamestown.
So, top of the 4th inning here about to start as Gilman will look for another solid inning of work here. And the batters he's got due up are 2 through 4, Hetherington, Agresti, and Acelta. And should Gilman complete the 4th inning, he'll be the first Skunks starting pitcher at Dietrich this season to be eligible for a victory with the inning requirement pitched. Because again, doubleheaders are 7 innings, and to be eligible for the win as a starting pitcher, you need to pitch at least 4.
Still, has there in a full length game, has there even been a starting pitcher that's gotten through 4 innings yet?
Nope. The most was the last home game, and that was Bilko. He pitched 4 flat.
So even though it's less innings for him to earn the win, it's still a huge notch under his belt because, like we said, the starting pitchers, they've struggled at times for the Skunks.
Well, the first pitch to start it off was swung on and missed for a strike. Hetherington, he flew out to left in his first appearance. Here comes Gilman's next pitch. And that one kind of skipped. Good catch there by Juwan, even though there was nobody on base to begin with. So counts even 1-1, and so far no Skunk pitchers warming up in the bullpen, so we maybe could see Gilman for the 5th pending how this inning goes. Next one is low again, but Juwan makes a nice catch, makes it the count 2-1. 2-1 delivery here by Casey Gilman. This one foul, but it's going to go out of play. Evens the count at 2s. Next pitch on the way upstairs. Count goes full. Next one is low for a ball, and it's going to be a walk here to start it off. First walk issued by Gilman.
Batting for the Muckdogs, the catcher number 23, Adam Agresti.
So Agresti now up to bat. So Gilman does get the sign. Here comes the next pitch. Outside corner, strike 1. Agresti, he popped out the second in his first at-bat. Here comes a pickoff, but back in safely. Next pitch on the way, fouled off, making the count 0-2. Pitch, broken bat, this one going into left, but fielded there cleanly for the first out of the inning by Kent. So now it will be a Celta, the DH. He has one of the 2 hits for Batavia. He's got a single.
For the visiting Batavia Muckdogs, the designated hitter number 27, James Celta.
So Gilman getting the sign from Juwan. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off. Strike 1. Yeah, and so far, neither team having any warm-up pitchers in the bullpen, so we possibly will see Woods for the bottom of the 4th as the next plays a pickoff move, but back in safely is Hetherington. So Gilman does get the sign, and here comes the next pitch. Runner goes. And, oh, caught there by me! And that's going to be an easy double play. So getting burnt worse there than Snidely Whiplash trying to tie now to the railroad tracks. An unconventional right there, 6-3 double play. And we'll have the bottom of the 4th momentarily with Jamestown still up 1-0. And Colin, I'll again shift it over to you.
Support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you in part by Schultz Auto Group. Celebrating over 50 years serving automotive needs of the greater Jamestown community with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. All repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for all automotive needs, no matter what engine type, gas, diesel, or electric. Schultz Auto Group, a proud supporter of Tarp Skunk Baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or visit schultzauto.com. And looking at Casey Gilman's stats on the year, coming into this game, 7 innings pitched, a 1.29 ERA with 5 hits and only 1 earned run. I think he's going to chip some numbers off of that ERA to begin with today, too.
And we're going to see Woods here for another inning as he's got 2 warm-up pitches left, and he's got the middle-ish and a half of the orders, 6 through 8, Thompson, Catalano, and Googans. And Thompson, he actually has the only run driven in today for Game 1. It was an RBI single, again, back in the 1st. But it seems so long ago, we might as well jack the DeLorean and take a ride back to 1985. So Thompson will go 2 for 2 here. So far, just 5 combined hits, 3 by Jamestown and 2 by Batavia. But what matters is in the run department, you don't need a lot, you just need enough. Here comes the next pitch by Woods, and it's going to be a grounder. Fielded cleanly there by Sims. Throw it to first, and it's wide! Another mistake there by Sims, his 2nd one of the game. And that one, he was down on a knee, and he tried forcing a bullet over there to Ladd. And honestly, I think he would have been better off just pocketing that ball.
I mean, in his defense, that's the first at bat. You don't have anyone else at base, so you might as well take a shot there. Now, credit could have easily ran for 2, possibly. I think he played it smart there, was Thompson. But, you know, in the end, he did a good job fielding it. You just got to clean up that throw.
So first error of the game by either team as Catalano was up the bat. Next pitch was inside for a ball. And in Catalano's first appearance, he popped out the short. Next pitch on the way by Woods outside, 2-0. 2-0 count, nobody out. Here comes the next pitch by Woods, outside, ball 3. So 1 ball away from a 2-on, no-out opportunity here for Jamestown. Here's the 3-0. This one popped foul, but it's going to go out of play. Makes the count 3-1. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. The count goes full. Payout pitch on the way. Fouled off, and that one nearly went into our end of the press box there, and luckily it hit off the side of it on the wall part and not going into the roadside as well.
I think that was the first time I can confidently say my life flashed before my eyes.
Well, it was about 1.5 feet, 2 feet to the left of us, so next pitch on the way. It's going to be a grounder. Goes over to right, a base hit. And Thompson's going to head over to third. Here comes a throw, and he's safe. Catalano gets over to second on that, and runners on second and third, nobody out, and this is a big chance here for Jamestown to get a couple of insurance runs, and it's going to be Tommy Googans coming up the bat.
Now in the batter's box for your Jamestown.
And that all starts with the guts and grittiness of Thompson, knowing the whole way that he's going around 4-3. Perfectly timed it, didn't hesitate at all, and that allowed a free lane for Catalano to climb over to second.
It's the first extra base hit of the game by either team, and a good swing by Googans could drive home not 1, but 2 runs possibly. Woods looking to avoid that situation as he gets a sign from Agresti. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Next pitch on the way. Outside again, 2-0. So Woods again gets the sign. Here's the delivery. Hot shot over to third, but it's going to be foul. Googans got a good lick of it, but it goes foul to the area of the Skunk bullpen. Here's the 2-1. Googans fouls that off to the backstop, evens the count. Woods gets the pitch, and here comes the 2-2. And it's going to go over the first baseman's glove and into right, a base hit. Thompson scores, but Googans gets a single, and Catalano told to stay at third. So a big insurance run there for Jamestown. An RBI single by Googans, and it makes it 2-0, as now Matthew Best, the center fielder, is up the bat. So that throwing error by Sims does cost, as the runner who got on by the error scored. So for the good thing is for Woods, because that runner was on by it, it will not be charged against them.
That's an all-important insurance run. There's still no outs. Plenty of time here for the Skunks to really stretch this thing out of reach for the Muckdogs.
So runners on the corners here. Next pitch on the way, outside, ball 1. And I wonder if they're going to see if they can get Googans a steal to possibly eliminate the double play.
This is a series that typically goes swing for swing, run for run. If you can stretch that lead by multiple runs, you're really feeling in a good position.
So count here is 1-0. Runners on the corners. And some action about to be starting up here in the Muckdog bullpen. I did get a clear view what the number was. That was going to go in the left field for a base hit. So Catalano will score. Matthew Best with an RBI single there, and it's Casey Sabiers who's warming up in the bullpen for Batavia, and he's from the west side. He is from the land of the grunge music, Seattle, Washington. So we're back, we're about to momentarily be back to the top of the lineup, but first it'll be Servia that's up the bat. And besides this inning starting to get away a little bit, Woods was doing fairly strong, but now, ever since Sims' throwing error, it's starting to tumble down on him worse than London's Bridge. So far in this inning, it's been an E4 and 3 straight base hits, so we might as well say Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies.
And that's where you need your infield to pick up the slack, because that's a routine play that typically goes for an out. And as a pitcher, that gives you the confidence going into the next at-bat. That turns into a runner on base, and then, like you said, it just went south from there. And discussion on the mound, pitcher warming up in the pen. Don't think they're going to pull the trigger quite yet. Maybe let him finish out here in the fourth.
Personally, I think if another run is scored, that's when they might decide to pull the plug.
But this is a good job by the Skunks here, a team that struggled to get runs on the board in the past couple games. They started off first few games of the year, they were in double digits nearly every time they played, and offense has declined since that point, but this is a good sign here so far.
So Servia, he's up the bat. He executed a sac bunt in his first at-bat, but he's got a chance of driving a run as he swings and misses on the first pitch he sees in this at-bat for strike one.
And they're not just doing it with the walks and being patient and getting the stroke of luck of getting hit by a pitch too.
Woods checking on Googans at second. Here's the next pitch, and that got him right in the back. So 5 straight batters getting on base here for Jamestown, and now we're going to be back to the top of the lineup with the bases loaded up, and it's going to be Zach Kent, who is 1 for 2 with a single.
Left fielder for Wagner College, number 39, Zach Kent.
Kent on the year, only 3 hits, but he's tied for second on the team with 5 RBIs.
Here comes the next pitch on the way. That went in the dirt, but a good snag there by Agresti, making it ball 1. So the Skunks, they have a chance to crack open the Cracker Barrel and nibble on the cheese here with the bases loaded and nobody out, and Kent looking to drive in a run or two. Here's the next pitch by Woods. That one upstairs, 2-0. So far, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth, and already 2 runs tabbed on by Jamestown. Here's the 2-0, outside corner, strike 1. But the one thing that, again, Woods can relax a little bit on is it is a force at any base. So hypothetically, if it's a chopper right back to him, he could at least throw it over to first to avoid a run. But here comes the next pitch by Woods on the way, fouled off, making it 2-2. Again, Sabiers, he's warming up in the bullpen for Batavia. Two on the way. That one upstairs. Count goes full.
In the Muckdog infield, they learned their lesson after seeing the same movie too many times of a grounder that splits either short and third or second and first.
There is open pockets in the outfield. I wonder if Kent will try to aim for that, but here's the payoff, and it's foul going over top of the press box. So we got a full count here with nobody out. Googans on third, Best at second, and Servia over at first. Here's the payoff. That's a hot shot over to third, but just foul. Had it gone fair, that possibly could have cleared the bases. or throughout the last year and change, Batavia, they're a team that has absolutely owned Jamestown. They're hunting the Skunks and keeping the tails in a mantle over their fireplace. But right now, Jamestown looking to turn the tide here. They're ahead 3-0 with a full count, and bases, again, jammed more than a jelly donut as the payoff pitch is on the way, and that's going to go foul once again. Almost like Colin Houck's first at-bat, which was a 10-pitcher. So take 4 here on the full count pitch. Another foul ball. Kind of looking like Groundhog Day. Time loop, the same thing over and over and over again. But let's see if Kent can hit one into fair territory and drive in a couple of runs. Here's another payoff. Oh, ball 4. So Kent will get an RBI after all by a walk. And that's 6 consecutive batters getting on base for Jamestown. And this is where the pitching change, I think, is going to happen. Because they've already had a conference on the mound. You only get 1 per inning. And again, Sabiers was warming up in the bullpen, and he's going to be the one coming in for Batavia. So the Muckdogs with a call to the bullpen as Grady Mee is due up the bat. And once again, it is number 10, Casey Sabiers. And he's another one that's a tall guy, only an inch shorter than Jamestown's Cooper Monroe. 6'9" 6'9", 220-pound right-hander from Long Island University. And again, he's a native of the city of grunge music, Seattle, Washington. Taking a look at him, though, another one of those guys that's rail thin. Again, 6'9".
So far in the year, Sabier's only 1 2/3 of an inning pitched. 4 earned runs in those 5/3 of an inning, along with a hit and 3 walks. So he's looking to improve some numbers today. Down 4-0. Quite a sticky situation to be brought into.
And what was his ERA? I think, yeah, it's usually on there.
ERA is 21.600.
Okay, so all the runners that are on base, if any of them 3 score, they will be charged to Woods. These are inherited base runners here for Sabiers. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting Jamestown into the black hole sun and wash away the rain of bases loaded with nobody out here. But for the Skunks, again, it's that golden opportunity to spray the spray with no perfume required for Pepe Le Pew. None of that out at toilet and any of the stuff like that. But Grady Mee coming in, and he's got to be hungry. He's up the bat. He's 0 for 2, flown out and struck out, and I'm sure he wants to get a couple of runs in his RBI tab. And again, Sabiers, he'll look to get Woods out of this hole he's in. It's kind of like when Woods slices on the 18th green. Next pitch is outside for a ball. Again, all 3 runners on base. If all 3 score, or any of the 3 score, they are charged to Woods. Next pitch on the way by Sabiers. That one's upstairs, 2-0.
Here's a 6'9" pitcher standing on a mound that's elevated, too. It's going to be hard to keep those down.
Yeah, seeing stuff like that makes me happy that I'm 6'4". Well, here's the 2-0 pitch again, upstairs, ball 3. So far in this inning, this is almost looking similar to the 12-run game in the 8th inning that we called 2 years ago. So far, E4, double, back-to-back singles, hit by pitch, and a walk. We might as well turn it into a Congo the way that's looking, as it's another walk here, and a run will score. So it's going to be 5-0 now, 4 innings here in inning number 4. As now it will be Henry Juwan. In his 2 at-bats, he has walked in both. So here's the next pitch. It's going to be right the heart of the disc, strike one.
And one way or another, we're going to get through everyone in the rotation in this inning. Whether we get back to the top at Thompson, that's to be determined.
Well, there's also the possibility still for a double play because it's a force at any base, and even a triple play is possible, even though I don't see a blue sun out there, but count is 1 and 2. Sabier's looking to get the first out of the inning here for the Muckdogs, and right now the way they're looking, it's kind of like Spike being put on the leash, and it's a grounder over the third. Throw to home in time. Throw to first. Oh, and it couldn't be handled. Lad mishandled the ball, and a run's going to score. And me will stay put at third, and another critical error there by Batavia. Honestly, even if Ladd would have caught that, his foot would have been off the bag. So that one's not on Ladd. That one is on the catcher. That's going to be an E2. So another mistake by Batavia. That's their second error of the inning. Yeah, I've seen sometimes there's a fielder's choice and an error at the same time, but yeah, another run on the board for Jamestown as Kernodle's up the bat, as that one nearly hit off the middle part of the lighting, making the count 0-1. Me on third and Juwan on first as Googins fouls that one off, making the count 0-2. Again, Juwan's at first and Grady Me is at third. And it appeared Googins ran around, and he did. So out number 2 here for Jamestown in this inning, and now it will be Colin Houck, the first baseman.
Second strikeout for Kernodle on the afternoon.
So now we'll definitely be going through the whole rotation, and hopefully it could be possible that our scorecard for the inning will be loaded more than a twice-baked potato, as the next pitch was on the heart of the disc for strike one. Runner goes, Juwan's head. Oh, it's a bad throw! Goes right to center, and Grady Me will easily score another run. 5 runs here in the inning for Jamestown, making it 6-0. And honestly, that was one I think where Agresti would have been better off holding that, because there was nobody manning second. So base hit could possibly get home Juwan. Here's the next pitch by Sabiers. That one's going to the shallow center, and making the catch is Sorensen, but that they put an end to the inning. But Jamestown, they have lit the stick of dynamite and made it go kaboom here in the fourth. 5 runs in the inning, and they're leading now 6-0. Top of the 5th coming up in a moment right here on WRFA.
All right, hang on. So Servia got tagged out, right? He got tagged out at home.
Yes.
Did Ken score?
Yes, he scored and me scored.
Ken scored and me scored.
And Juwan was left a second.
Second annual A Voice for a Child beer and wine tasting
So
charity golf
Thompson,
tournament.
Catalano,
You can join
Googins,
Casa
Best.
Chautauqua at the Chautauqua Golf Club on Saturday, August 19th. for
Yeah, I was gonna say I got
That's what I was thinking.
6 runs in that inning.
Abused and neglected children in foster
Thompson,
care.
Catalano,
More
Googins,
information
Best,
on
Ken,
Casa of
and me.
Chautauqua
I'm
County,
pretty sure.
As well as a Voice for a Child and how to register. You can visit Casa of Chautauqua County online at chautaquacasa.com.
They gotta pay attention to that thing.
The 84th annual West. play-by-play action for each home game right here
7.
on your
Yes.
community radio station. For a complete broadcast schedule, visit WRFALP.com/TarpSkunks. See you at the ballpark.
All right, so as we start the top of the 5th inning, there is a correction. It wasn't quite updated at the time, but it's actually 7-0. The guy that runs the board and us, we're kind of a ways apart, so we can't obviously see what's going to be going on with the updating and whatnot. But again, it's 7-0, so a 6-run inning in the bottom of the 4th, and we're going to see Gilman in for another inning of work, as it will be. It's going to be Chad Falcon, Trey Bacon, and Gavin Sims.
And it was 6 out of 7 batters that scored besides Sevilla getting tagged out at home. I mean, perfectly executed inning.
So that one foul and going to go out of play for a strike. Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2. Here's the 0-2 on the way. It's going to be a grounder fielded there cleanly by Googans and a throw to Hauk in time for the first down of the inning. So 1 out of the board is now it will be Trey Bacon, the left fielder. He's got one of the team's 2 hits here today, a single. Here comes Gilman's next pitch. That one fouled off, going over the top of the press box for strike 1. For anybody watching the YouTube live stream, we do apologize if there's any confusion going on with the board. But again, Jamestown is ahead 7-0 with 1 out in the top of the 5th, as the next pitch is called a ball. Here comes the next delivery. 1-1 count, swing and a miss, strike 2. So 1-2 delivery on the way by Gilman, upstairs, 2-2. 2-2 delivery. That one a hot shot, but foul. Count stays the same. Another 2-2 pitch by Gilman. It's going to be a grounder, and Googans gets underneath it. Throw to Hauk, and his foot was off the bag. Good effort by Googans, but honestly, even if he would have had an accurate throw, I do believe Bacon would have been safe.
Yeah, it looked like another lollipop throw over to first, a little sidearm. I think those throws, when you're that close, I mean, you don't want to put too much heat on it, but you want to make sure you get it there in time. I think they did have an opportunity to get a force out there. I mean, you're up 7-0. Just make sure you don't take your foot off the gas. Finish strong.
And Sims chopper over to third. 5, 4, 3, double play. Skunks go around the horn to end the top of the 5th inning with the score remaining 7-0. And Colin, once again, over to you.
Support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball is brought to you in part by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses. It also promotes the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it offers businesses assistance in the forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhance the opportunities for job creation and retention across Chautauqua County. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball on WRFA. For more information, call 716-661-8900 or visit ccida.com.
And with that, Saviors will stick around for another inning of work here. And the Skunks, that was a big bottom of the 4th inning as they scored 6 runs. And Before that, it was a good pitcher's duel, and honestly, I wonder if Woods may have just been a tad overworked, or maybe if his arm was kind of feeling like jello a little bit, but even so, Jamestown, they took advantage of it, taking a 7-0 lead here, as it will be Thompson, Catalano, and Googans. And from hearing what's on right now on the music-wise, I think Jamestown gave Batavia their share of heartache medication with that inning.
And Gilman now, he was eligible for the win an inning ago. I mean, he was 2 singles away from a no-hitter here. It's been an absolute display. What a turnaround at the mound for the Skunks, 4 starting pitchers. And I think with the way he's performed, I think they might see him start him out more often.
So Thompson, he actually led off in the 4th inning and got on by an E4. This one going into the gap, and this could be extra bases. That's going to drop. Thompson pumping the arms, going for second. Here comes a throw to the shortstop, and Sorensen to cut it off, but a leadoff double for Matt Thompson. And the Skunks here wasting no time, and I'm wondering if they're going to try and go in and force the mercy rule here, because they are pushing that envelope a little bit.
Does the mercy rule change for 7-inning games?
I believe it's 10 after 5, if not 12 after 5, 10 after 6, or vice versa. I believe there was one game last year that was a doubleheader that was a mercy rule game, but I'll have to dig into the archives a little bit, as Catalano was setting up the bunt, but he aborted it. Catalano, in his last at-bat, he hit a double, and he also scored one of the 6 runs. Next pitch on the way by Sabiers, and that one gets by Agresti, and Thompson will head over to third. That pitch not necessarily being in bloom there for Sabiers. So Sabiers gets the pitch he wants. Here's the next one of the 2-0, outside ball 3, and this is looking like a chain reaction here. Woods, he ended on a low note, and so far Sabiers, he's been looking pretty shaky himself. 3-0 pitch on the way, and that one hits the inside corner, but it's still a hitter's count, 3-1. Do got a timeout called, and umpire's going to try to dust off the plate a little bit. And usually with the double headers, with the 2 umpires, one will start behind the plate, one on the bases, and they'll flip-flop. As Catalano swings and misses on that one for strike 2, and honestly, not good discipline on that one. That one could have been a free pass. But it's still a full count. Nobody out, and Thompson at third, and that's going to drop into left. Base hit. Oh, and Bacon misplayed that one. He's going to get burnt there, and Catalano will get his 2nd double of the game. And the score now 8-0 in favor of the Skunks. And again, they're going, say hello to my stinky little friend.
Well, I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I'll eat my own words. I said I'd be surprised if there was more than 1 double this game. Catalano's got 2, and that's back-to-back doubles there from Thompson and Catalano.
The all 3 doubles have been by Jamestown, and Googans looking to get home Catalano as we're getting ever closer to the possible mercy rule. Thankfully, at least the victim on that end doesn't have to cry out uncle, as the next pitch is outside for a ball.
This has got to feel good for a Skunks team that has struggled against Batavia in the past. We know the Muckdogs have had their number almost time in and time out. This is going to give them a lot of confidence going into the 2nd game, too.
Next pitch is low for a ball, making it 2-0.
And what a difference maker that would be in the standings. If they can walk out of tonight 2-0, get to 8-4-1, really shake things up in the West Division.
Sabiers' next pitch on the way. That one upstairs, ball 3. So in danger, issuing another walk. Here's a 3-0. That one looked iffy, but Saviors does paint the outside corner on that one. However, it's still a hitter's count, 3-1. Takes a check at Catalano at second. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, and Googans will take the free pass.
Now in the batter's box, for your Tarp Skunks, out of UMBC, the center fielder number 6,
So far, repeat here of the last inning. Back in the fourth, the first 6 batters, or no, check that. The first 7 batters got on base for Jamestown back in the fourth. So far, the first 3 here in the fifth. As it's Matthew Best, who is 2 for 2 with 2 singles as he fouls off the first pitch. He sees this at bat for a strike, and in his last at bat, he also drove in an RBI, and his batting average was actually under the 100 mark. But with these 2 hits, that's going to raise it up a little bit and make it look even better. Next pitch on the way by Sabiers, and right down Broadway, strike 2. So count 0-2 here for Sabiers. Checks on Catalano at second. Here's the pitch. And that one called outside, 1-2. That one looked like it was going to get rung up, but Aggressi's frame job, I think the home plate umpire was not convinced.
And what a turnaround it was, too. I mean, Woods, after the third was done, he had just had 3 up and 3 out innings. And then in the fourth, it was just a catastrophe.
And Catalano's nailed at third. I don't know what in the world he was doing. He was kind of like Chick Gando there on 8 men out when he was kind of trotting over third and purposely got tagged out. But honestly, I think Catalano would have been better off staying at second. But it's just 1 out, and Googans, the runner, on first with the count at 2-0. Next pitch on the way by Sabiers, and full count correction. It was 3-2. So yeah, with that sun, it kind of obscured the count. Googans, he's got a good lead off of first. Here's the payoff. And caught looking on the outside corner, strike 3, and Sabiers dishing that pitch like a spoon man there, and that's a big out, number 2, as Servia is up to bat.
out of Nova Southeastern, the extra hitter, number 25, Alex Zuniga.
And that's going to be the first strikeout since back in the 3rd inning when Cronoto got caught looking. Next pitch on the way by Sabiers. Servia foul tips it for a strike. Next pitch on the way, and low and outside, ball 1. Next delivery, inside, 2-1. No skunk pitchers warming up in the bullpen. We could see Gilman for the 6th. And Servia gets hit for the 2nd straight at bat, and again, right in the back. There are 2 pitchers warming up, though, for Batavia, as we're back to the top of the order in Zach Kent. I just got to ask you one question, Colin. Deja vu, ain't it?
Absolutely. I mean, this is just unbelievable what the Skunks have done here so far this afternoon. They've got to feel good about themselves. Only the 1 error on the board. They haven't made too many mistakes. Runs and hits are even right now. This is just an all-around performance, and they're going to look to carry this over into the 2nd game as well, too.
So Kent, in his last at-bat, he got an RBI on a bases-loaded walk. And he's also scored 2 runs. Next pitch by Sabiers, that one in the dirt. Googans heading over for third. Here comes a throw, and it's high. And Googans keeps his foot in the bag, so now runners are on the corners here with 2 outs. Next pitch on the way outside for a ball. So count 2-0 here with 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Fouled off. Strike one, excuse me. Servia on first and Googins at third. Next pitch on the way, and Kent went around. Sevilla's going over to second, and it's a high throw. And Googins is going to head home, and another mistake here for Batavia. And that's a wild throw there by Agresti, and this is starting to spread worse than a wildfire at Yellowstone Park or something like that, and makes it 9-0, and it's becoming contagious there for Batavia.
These routine plays. Catcher to second, high throw. We've seen high throws, lackadaisical throws, low throws. We've seen it all from the Muckdogs. Normally a consistent team that doesn't typically beat themselves. They have really put a dent into this thing on their own.
Yeah, and the throw over to first in time, but Jamestown does add 2 more runs to their lead with the score now 9-0. Top of the 6th coming up in just a moment right here on WRFA. Honestly, if the fourth didn't last that long, this game would probably be done.
In addition, the Tarp Skunks provide the in-game broadcast for all home games on their YouTube channel, Video Stream. Our 2023 coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is made possible through funding from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Chautauqua Education, and Schultz Auto Group. For a complete broadcast schedule, visit Tarp Skunks page on the WRFA website or check out our event schedule on Facebook. You're listening to Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball right here on WRFA-LP 107.9 FM in Jamestown.
Top of the 6th about to start here, and Gilman is going to get another inning of work with the Skunks up 9-0. 2 runs scored by them in the bottom of the 5th, and they've held the Muckdogs just 2 hits, and Batavia, they have repeatedly been shooting themselves in the foot. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 errors. And one of them was a bad throw on a steal attempt by Agresti, went over the head of Sims, and a run actually, one of the runs actually ended up scoring there in Googins.
And I think the Skunks right now, they're going for the victory within the victory, and that is getting Gilman to finish out this game without a replacement. I think that would be a remarkable accomplishment here. Go 7 innings, no runs allowed. He's got 6 more outs to do it.
And it's going to be Sean Ladd, the first baseman, coming up to bat. Batavia in a 9-run hole. Here comes the next pitch. That one, a little chin music there, 1-0. Next delivery by Gilman. That's going to be, oh, I thought that was a foul ball. But here's a throw over to first, and not in time. I wasn't sure if that hit off a Ladd's foot, but it was called a fair ball, and it's an infield single by Ladd, and that's just Batavia's 3rd hit of the game. So now it'll be Alonji coming up the bat. He popped out the second in his first appearance.
It was a good try by Gilman. Corral that ball, turn 180 degrees, make an accurate throw, just not quite on time.
That one chopped foul. Strike 1. So Gilman does get the sign from Juwan. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. So Gilman testing the waters here. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. Next pitch on the way, outside, 1-2. Gilman checking on Ladd at first. Here's the next pitch. Chop foul. Count stays the same. So Gilman does get the sign again from Juwan. Here comes the 1-2. This one going over to center, but Best able to get to it no problem for the first out. So now it'll be Noah Sorensen. He struck out in his first at bat. So Gilman checking on Ladd at first. Here's the next pitch. It's a chopper, and Gilman does field it cleanly. Throw over to first in time for the second out.
That was the exact same scenario where Ladd got on with the infield single. That time, Gilman, I think, learned his lesson, just quicker about it, able to corral it, on-time throw, accurate for the out.
Now it'll be Rashad Robinson. He has grounded out and struck out.
And that's a testament to how well Gilman's pitched. Robinson, who was the leadoff in the first guy with 3 at-bats so far here in the 6th inning.
Next pitch is inside for a ball, and I'm sure Robinson will try to find the base hit with his cupcakes. As it's a 1-0 count here with Gilman getting the sign he wants from Juwan. Comes set at the belt. Here's the next pitch. That one low, 2-0. So count here 2-0 with 2 outs and Ladd on second. Here's the next pitch. That one hits the heart of the dish. Strike one. Gilman looking to at least even the count. Here's the next pitch. And he went around. Strike two. So 2-2 count here with 2 outs. And Gilman looking for another shutout inning in the books. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. 5th strikeout of the game for Gilman. And the score will remain 9-0 as the bottom of the 6th coming up momentarily here. But Colin, again, I'm going to shift it back over to you.
Support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you in part by Chautauqua Institution, a community on the shores of Chautauqua Lake that comes alive each summer with a unique mix of fine and performing arts, including theater and musical entertainment, along with lectures, interfaith worship and programs, and recreational activities. 2023 season features Natalie Merchant, Diana Ross, Patty LaBelle, The Revivalists, Band of Horses, Straight No Chaser, Snarky Puppy, Trombone Shorty, Mavis Staples, and more. Chautauqua Institution. For more information, call 1-800-836-ARTS-2787 or visit discover.chq.org.
And with that, we do got a pitching change for Batavia again. It's going to be Thomas Blades, number 1. He's a native of Charleston, West Virginia, and 5'10" right-hander that goes to the University of Rochester. And he'll have a bit of a tall task here. The batters he'll be facing are me, Juwan, and Kernodle. And Grady Mean, his last at-bat, he got walked with the bases loaded and it was credited with an RBI.
Now pitching for Batavia number 1, Thomas Blades.
So last warm-up pitch about to be thrown. So again, Grady Mead coming up the bat looking for his first hit of the game.
University, it's the shortstop, number 38, Grady.
So Jamestown looking to break double figures here once again. And here's Blades' first pitch of the game. That one is hit over to right, but under it though without a hitch is Hetherington. So one pitch, one out, and now it will be Henry Juwan, the catcher, who has walked twice and also got on a fielder's choice.
And it's not only the last time the Skunks had double-digit runs, but also the last time they had more than 3 runs. It was back on June 10th against Geneva, where they took care of them, looks like 14-6. So it's good to see them back in that offensive rhythm, getting that groove back, and finding that swagger again.
Next pitch was low for a ball. Next pitch by Blades. That one upstairs 2-0. So, Juwan ahead in the count, 2-0. Next pitch, it's going to be a grounder over to first. Ladd fields it cleanly, and he'll tag the bag for the second out. So now it'll be Jake Kernodle. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out in 2 at-bats, but he's also been hit by a pitch. Next pitch is low for a ball, making it 1-0. Next pitch on the way, inside ball 2. Two-0 pitch on the way by Blades. That one inside ball 3. So 3-0 pitch on the way, and that one's going to get hit to center. And making the catch, though, for the last out of the inning is Robinson. Nation turns its eyes to you as a 1-2-3 inning by Batavia defensively for the first time in this game. And last licks coming up for Batavia in game 1 of this doubleheader. Jamestown up 9-0. Stick around on WRFA. I'm happy this will be 7.
Special marketing workshop for local businesses and organizations. Monday, June
Not that bad.
26th, Northwest Arena. Molly Hans will be their special
Hopefully the
guest
next game is a
presenter
little
for
better.
this Business Builder
Yeah.
workshop with a focus on marketing your business
ready for
on a
this one.
budget. The event will run from 1 to 4 and
be hanging out with a couple
Q&A
friends.
and presentation. Registration
You are?
is required for this free event by June 21st.
One of them's got a birthday,
Find
so.
more information at chautauquachamber.org.
Oh, he's really going to finish. That's crazy.
Jamestown Tarp Skunks on WRFA-LP. Tune in for live play-by-play action for each home game right here on your community radio station. For a complete broadcast schedule, visit WRFALP.com/TarpSkunks. See you at the ballpark.
Top of the 7th about to momentarily start here, and again, the first of 2 games here tonight between Jamestown and Batavia, and both are going to be 7 innings each, and Gilman will look for the unconventional complete game, and he's pitched a gem. He's only allowed 3 hits. He has struck out 5, and he's got Hetherington, a Gresti, and a Celta that are due up.
5 strikeouts to 1 walk.
And Hetherington, he has flown out and walked in his 2 at-bats. Next pitch fouled off for a strike.
And prior to this inning, it was 21 at-bats for the Muckdogs. And in those 21 at-bats, Gilman's only issued that one walk. Truly remarkable.
0-1 pitch outside, 1-1. 1-1 delivery by Gilman, outside, 2-1.
Well, Norm, I don't think it's a debate. It was an all-around game for the Skunks, but Casey Gilman easily MVP of this one.
Oh, for sure. Six shutout innings, and plus a lot of the runs scored by Jamestown were by a mix of throwing errors and walks. Next pitch outside again, ball 3.
Yeah, just a tough stretch there for Ty Woods in the 4th. He had a good outing there in 1 through 3, but
next pitch swung on a miss, count goes full.
that downhill venture really just started to take a toll on him and the rest of the team. The sloppiness started to catch up to them, and never really had a chance from there.
And a swing and a miss for strike 3, strikeout number 6 for Gilman, so he comes back from the 3-1 count. So Agresti, he has popped and flown out in his 2 at-bats. 2 outs away from taking game 1 of this doubleheader. It'll be one of 2 doubleheaders Jamestown for sure will have at home. Next one won't be until July 23rd, and they take on the Auburn Double Days. As the first pitch in this at-bat to Agresti was wide for a ball. One-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So count even here, 1-1 with 1 out. Here comes the next pitch. Chop foul, strike 2. The Skunks are going to need a bigger tarp. They need a bigger tarp. 1-2 pitch. That one is going to go foul down the left field side. What's kind of funny is the guy on Jaws says the famous line, "We're going to need a bigger boat." He was actually not supposed to be in the second Jaws movie. He was supposed to be in a film called The Deer Hunter, but he dropped out of it 2 weeks before they started filming it. So they offered him to do Jaws 2 to complete his 2-film contract with, I believe it was Paramount Pictures. As it's a grounder over to third. Thompson fields it cleanly, throw to first, and foot off the bag. And that should be ruled an infield single there for Agresti. Just the 4th hit of the game for Batavia. Yeah, so that's a little fact to stick in your pocket to share with the other friends.
I never knew that one.
Well, I know more.
What are the odds? You know?
You know that I know more than just sports.
Oh yeah.
My friend.
Movies, music, you name it.
Grounder over to short, and it's going to go into center field, base hit. So for Acelta, that's his 2nd hit of the game. So now it will be Chad Falcon. Every time I say Falcon, it makes me want to play Super Smash Bros. Because one of the heroes in it is Captain Falcon. The one with the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Falcon, punch!
And now, I mean, runner in scoring position here. Gilman's got to be careful.
Yeah, because Batavia in the run department, they're like a donut shop, a Brooklyn bagel factory, a goose egg business, whatever you want to call it, being a big fat 0.
Even with the 5 hits, still just haven't been able to take advantage of those opportunities. The few opportunities they've had on base.
Yeah, Falcon swung and missed on the first pitch for strike 1. Next pitch, and that one goes into center field, base hit. And Ladd's going to get sent home, and the Laddie gets home. The Laddie scores a run, and the Muckdogs finally get a run on the board, making it 9-1. 1 run down, 8 to go, and their last 2 outs.
Now coming to the plate for the Muckdogs, the left fielder number 4, Trey Bacon.
So now it's going to be Trey Bacon looking to cook up a 4th straight hit here for the Muckdogs possibly. So Falcon makes the ball fly again for his first hit and drives in an RBI. So Trey Bacon, he's been one of the bright spots for Batavia. He's 2 for 2. And also got a chance to see him pitch the last time these two teams played here, and he actually got the save. So Bacon looking to get on the base like a hollow man here and create that stir of echoes. If you don't know what I'm kind of saying, it's kind of a play on some Kevin Bacon films as he swings and misses on the next pitch he sees for strike 1.
Tough way to finish this game for Gilman, too, especially being that close to a no-runner.
Even so, though, still a solid performance by Gilman. Plus, he has an 8-run cushion. And Bacon hits a popper, and it's going to be fielded there in left by Zach Kent. No cape required. And as some fans like to call him, Superman for the second out. So now Gavin Sims is the last gasp here for Batavia. And Sims, he's looking to see a better appearance here because he's had a couple of errors, and he also in his last at-bat grounded into a final countdown, a 5-4-3 double play. Here's the next pitch by Gilman, and that one upstairs, ball 1. And that's a hot shot over the short field cleanly by me, and he's about to make a long throw to first, but it's not in time. That double pump came back to bite him in the tail. So Sims gets a base hit. That's the 4th base hit that Gilman has allowed in the last 5 batters faced.
2 outs, 8-run lead, but the bases are juiced, and simply never say never. Gilman's got to close this out here.
Well, he does have 2 outs in his favor. So it's going to be Sean Ladd, who just scored a run a moment ago for Batavia, as the first pitch was in the dirt for a ball. So Ladd will look to continue to be a good lad for Batavia and drive in a run or 2. But Gilman looking to slam the door. Next pitch again in the dirt, but a nice catch by Juwan there. With a lot of these pitches he's been catching, he needs to get a lifetime supply of Jujubes.
Great job behind the dish tonight. Nothing's gotten by him, although Gilman's made it easy on him, too.
Gilman on the hill. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 2-1. I think the attendance, though, will pick up for game number 2. Again, last season, they averaged 875 for attendance.
And even now, the crowd has started to pour in a little bit more since we started this one out.
And that one hit him. Got him in the elbow, so that's going to be a run coming in. And ever since getting Hetherington out on a strikeout to start the inning, since then, 4 singles, a fly out to left, and now a hit batsman. That's the first batter he has hit in this game. I'm sure you remember a couple of years ago, starting pitcher for Jamestown, Charlie Nichols, sometimes we would joke. I think you were in on a couple of this. We were kind of jokingly going to say, what's the over-under for hit batsman?
Oh, yeah.
Because he would hit at least 1 per start. But he was one of the guys that got it done, though. And I got to say it again. This seems like yesterday that this started. And, yeah, recently before getting the night off for one of my mentors, Tom Ames, getting to do a game, had done 52 straight. And, honestly, I like being an Iron Man. But sometimes a break is good. But Tom and his partner in crime, Zeke Abbey, they'll be back in action on the 30th against Jamestown's Heart on Fire for Elmira. But the next home game for Jamestown after this doubleheader, it'll be on the 24th versus the Newark Pilots, who are in the bottom of the barrel in the Western Division. So a run does score for Batavia on that hit batsman, and it makes it 9-2. So now the Tarp Skunks up by a touchdown here. And now it's Victor Alonji. He has popped and flown out in his 2 at-bats, and it looks like there's about to be some action possibly going on in the Skunk bullpen as a swing and a miss there. Makes the count 0-2. Gilman 1 strike away from getting a complete game victory here, albeit because it's a doubleheader, it's 7 innings. 0-2 pitch. That one fouled off, going over the top of the press box. And Gilman, his laces got untied. At least he's not having a case of the jersey issue like Bauman did for Niagara in the Kids' Day game.
You know, I think he just wants to soak in the win, personally.
I think should he get the last strike here, get the third out, he'll be like, sigh of relief, but he does have the 2 outs here with the bases jammed up. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to conclude game 1 of this doubleheader, and Jamestown will win it 9-2. Again, they'll take game 1 of 2, and they'll look for the sweep a little later, and honestly, player of the game is obvious. Despite that shaky 7th inning, it's got to be Casey Gilman. An unconventional complete game victory for him, along with 7 strikeouts.
Just absolutely fantastic. Started to give up a few hits at the end, but that's to be expected.
Right.
And the fact that he didn't reach his pitch limit over the course of the game is pretty incredible, but he was consistent. You know, a little sluggish there towards the end, but that's to be expected. A lot of these guys, they don't go more than 3 or 4 innings at a time. So for him to do that over the course of 7 innings, truly remarkable.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something that Brazil's been working on because, again, the pitchers have those inning limits. But that is going to do it for game 1 of this doubleheader between Jamestown and Batavia. The Skunks of victor in game 1, 9-2. Thank you to our studio engineer, Gavin Paternity, and also to our WRFA intern and Will Stallsmith. Hopefully we will get to meet him in person soon, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But for my broadcast partner, Colin Wood, along with our executive producer and one of our partners in crime, and Jason Sample, this is Norm Rodriguez saying thank you for listening to Game 1 of this doubleheader of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball on WRFA. Do stay tuned. Game 2 will be in a little bit, and I think, or no chiming in by Jason on this one, so again, stick around for Game 2 here on WRFA.